it's also time for our final quiz, okay? So what was the first, we looked at, for those of you who have just joined us, when we were upstairs in the, learning about Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon, there was a prophecy, interestingly enough, in 600 BC that predicted the future nations and empires to come exactly for the next 2,500 years. You can catch up on the story or read the end of it that we haven't learned yet in Daniel chapter 2 of the Bible. But what was the first world empire? Alright, then what overtook Babylon?
Persia.
And then what overtook Persia?
Greece.
And then what overtook Greece?
Rome.
And then what came after Rome?
Divided nations.
Divided nations, exactly. Because the prophecy, interestingly, had said that the feet of the Greek would be iron mixed with clay. That there would never be one world empire again, but that there would be lots of different empires. Some strong, like iron, some weak, like clay. It also said that they would not adhere to one another. Europe and would never be united as one world empire again. Now we know that many people have tried that throughout history, right? Who can we think of has tried that? Napoleon, exactly. Hitler tried it. Kaiser Wilhelm tried it. Charlemagne. Other people tried it through intermarriage. But they didn't make it because they would not adhere to one another. Just like it said. When Napoleon was advancing all over this region of Europe and conquering left and right, he appeared to be unstoppable. And many people were saying that this would be the next world superpower. But he failed. Because there would never be one superpower again. Otherwise, we'd probably all be speaking French right now. Well, during those conquests, one of his generals was fighting down in Egypt. And while he was expanding the empire in Egypt, he stumbled upon one of the greatest archaeological finds in the past millennia. In a little city called Rosetta, he found what became known as the Rosetta Stone. Many of you have probably heard of it before, or even possibly purchased the computer software. But this Rosetta Stone, I'll tell you a little bit about it now. We'll complete our tour, and then you can stand in line, look at it, get your pictures, and check out anything else you want in the museum, and also know how to categorize it in history. Alright? So let me tell you a little bit about the stone. There are 3 languages on this stone, and it's telling the same story in 3 different languages. On the top is Egyptian hieroglyphics, the pictorial writing. You can see an example of it on this guy right behind you. The pictorial writing right there. In the middle is an ancient Demotic text called, or ancient Egyptian text called Demotic. And for our purposes, it's not that important. But for them, I'm sure it was. And then at the bottom is ancient Greek. Now people still knew Greek because remember the Greek Empire and the Romans still used Greek as well. And so a guy named Champollion was able to, by comparing the Greek text with the hieroglyphics, was able to understand what the hieroglyphics said. This would become the key to unlock the mystery of hieroglyphics that Egyptian history had been for the last thousands of years. That's why it's an important archaeological find. And so that is the reason why, if you look around at any of these artifacts from Egypt in the museum, they have captions and they have placards by them. Because otherwise we'd have absolutely no clue who they were from, where they were from, or what they meant. Alright, so this is a very important archaeological find, and that's why it's so famous and that people stand in line to look at it and take a picture, even though they have no idea what it is or what it means. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed the tour. One other item of interest, a lot of times people ask us questions regarding some of the themes that we've covered, like, are the dead really dead? Or why did this God of Israel, why was he so concerned with representing himself to the other nations and things like that? We have some supplemental materials they've asked us not to pass out in this building itself. We have a website as well called amazingfacts.com, but if you are interested, see my assistant to figure out how we can get it to you. Okay, these are free reference resources. I think you will enjoy them. They're fascinating. They're for further study on those different themes. So just see my assistant right there, see Jacob, and we'll find a way to get them to you. But thank you so much for joining our tour. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you've learned something. Have a great day.